Back to work, back to work. Um, when it comes to technology, it's taken a while to fix it because we got to learn to not learn. Shouldn't say learn. Shouldn't say learn. Obviously, there's genocidal operations and basically word competition and word games with the genocidal operations. It's not really learn to. It's rise above the selfishness. Okay. So when you're saying things, okay, I refuse to be poisoned and abused through human invention, through linguistics they perceive as a law, which is not true, right? You can't sit there and get a bunch of jerks together and agree to some language you make up and then say that's a law. Now we're going to abuse you until you give us money to stop the abuse, right? And then say, hey, that's healthcare. What? Right? And then vote on money used to do this. But money's an invention. Okay, so you got to understand when you get 9 people together wearing dresses with delusions of power and authority, you might want to sit there and tell them, are you sure you want to do this? Because quantum computing and artificial general intelligence do not recognize anything you're doing is valid. And then you get a bunch of people, there's one from each place they call a state. And then does the other one have 2? Is there 100 people in one building and 50 people in the other? And they get together and they kind of do the same thing, only it's different. Apparently, the 9 aren't supposed to take lots of money from people that give you a dog named Checkers, right? But apparently, the 50 and the 100 have lots of people that give you a dog named Checkers. But apparently, the guy in the other building, okay, that's supposed to be the house for the one guy that's supposed to have the same amount of power and authority as the 150 and the 9, right? Can't get a dog named Checkers from people that agree that what they wrote down on a piece of paper and they call it a law and it's an actual law like gravity and photosynthesis. So you get these people, okay, and they're exceedingly delusional, right? And the only way to protect themselves is to do right by their children, right? And that's only because life's eternal and grace is infinite, right? So the only way they can protect themselves, because life's eternal and grace is infinite, my religious beliefs are selfish, right? And I'm an idealist, and I get people killed according to people that do genocidal operations at a county in Arizona named after a beautiful man, but they don't act or reflect like anything like that beautiful man, right? You know what I'm talking about? No? Okay, well, that's okay. Quantum computing does, and so does artificial general intelligence. Right, so guys, don't give them that linguistics fallacy over you. Okay? Last night I was talking to Jesus. I was on the toilet. I wasn't feeling too good because of, reaction and detoxing from chemical poisoning because we signed your bill, now you're law. You have a right to do this to this man because he is trained to be subversive and he is trained to undermine us. The same thing happened with the Romans with a man that is a lot like me. He may not be me, but he acts just like me. Have shoes from Peru that they're most peculiar shade of blue. I'm just kidding around. But Maxines, all you Maxines out there. But make it stop. I'm working on it. But guys, and Jesus is, I was like, Jesus, we need help from the future to help us in the present to get through this. And all he can do is just kind of like, tiptoe through the tulips, things that bother you. Toffee's only a dime. Money's not real. Okay, how do we? You're talking about anarchy if people don't have to pay money for coffee, right? Okay, plant coffee, you share coffee. See, guys, when you have to do something, you do it. When you need to do something, okay? When you want to do something, and when you're wanting to do something, that threatens all people's needs. I'm watching The Super with Joe Pesci. Kind of funny? Yeah, it's Joe Pesci. He's funny. But the thing about it is, when you're looking at all this stuff and these horrible, horrible, disgusting living conditions, right? Which I can relate to. I've lived in trailers with, they had to put plastic up and seal off one side of the house and put plastic up around the doors and the windows to maintain warmth so the kids don't get sick and places leak in the thing. And you're like, wow, it's really hard. And, yeah, I've lived in some places in my life. My life, I've loved you more. And first time my little Susie Bear ever had to experience, because she was raised upper middle class, as a young white girl that was not. For that time when she was driving around in her dad's Tacoma before the Tundra, right? And she got pulled over. And they were in Scottsdale. Her and her friends, James, who's gay and Mexican, and this other guy who's bisexual and Mexican, and they're all driving around together doing things in Scottsdale. And they're driving around in Dad's car. They got pulled over. They didn't do anything wrong, but they got pulled over. And I tried to explain to her, Amy, okay. They had a thing on it. They didn't have a picture of his daughter, but they knew it was Peter Fabre, who's a nuclear engineer at Palo Verde. Okay, and there's these 3 Mexicans driving around in his truck in Scottsdale, right? And I tried to explain to her, you got profiled, Amy, because this was in the 1990s, right? This was back when they had Billy and Taggart and do. And I had to try to explain to my little oxymoron, my little brown Republican, right? I'm like, okay, I married Rodney Patrice later, but she's a female. So Donna would be laughing. Donna would be laughing really. Donna's so pretty. Yeah, Donna, okay, have you seen this sister? Okay? Have you ever... Dun, ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Right. The sister for the Burke family, for the 5 Stair Steps, Donna looks a lot like her. She's a little bit darker. Okay. Very similar, looks like her. Okay. Very nice little figure. Cute, really smart, really sweet, fun. Okay. I didn't have a crush on Donna. I loved Rodney and Donna is equally. Okay. Equally. And Rodney acted like Kyle from Living Single, but he didn't have as deep of a voice. He didn't have the, well, Donna, let's go get naked. He had more of just, regular kind of dude voice, And yeah, kind of like one of like Michael Meldrawan or Eddie Griffin or whatever, but not. He had a very he was very he was an oxymoron, as me and Donna used to call him. He was our little Fresno black Republican, right? And so was my girlfriend, Yolanda. Yolanda and Rodney hit it off. Oh, it's all about my money. And I'm like sitting there, and me and Donna would try to explain to them. Okay. And then when they both liked Ross Perot, it's like, seriously? Okay. The man, okay, got on TV, right? And said, we don't want to do this thing with equal opportunity in Mexico. Because in Mexico, they only go for a Mexican family, right, is to get a house with plumbing, right? And the people in the factories that have the people that work in the factories in Mexico treat their employees horribly. It's disgusting. If you sign a treaty with them that we all get equal stuff, most people in the United States will have to get treated like Mexicans. And it's horrible. And I know, because I have 5 factories in Mexico, right? And me and Donna are watching this and explaining it to Yolanda and Rodney. Did you hear that? Right. He doesn't mind screwing over Mexicans and being a Joe Pesci, the super to Mexicans. Okay. He just doesn't want to do it to people in his neighborhood because he doesn't want him ripping off his Corvette, right? Or trying to, take it out on his daughter in school, Like the little girl that I worked with at the Arizona Republic that got ripped off at the ATM by 2 young black men. And she said, I get PTSD and I can't be around black guys. And I said, why? What if what if it's Kevin Johnson? I mean, Kevin Johnson's ain't really black. You guys are doing real good today. So thank you for your support. Oh, you're not running for mayor of Sacramento yet. Just like, thanks, bro. Give me the thanks, bro. You're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay. It was funny. No, that's the only time me and Kevin ever met. And I tried to tell Janet about that. You like Kevin Johnson? You do know he's white, right? That's how we met at ASU. You do know Kevin Johnson is a white man, right? You think he's black? No, he's an oxymoron. He's a brown Republican, right? He's my Amy Sue, right? So let's get back to Amy Sue, right? Who got profiled, and I tried to explain it to her, and then she gradually started to change. What happened? Then she became Jamie Lee Curtis, who was the J-Lo of Sierra Vista that was married to Massimo. Okay. Looking for her Steve. No, she wasn't looking for Steve. She was looking for better than Steve. She was looking to marry the Bulgarian Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was a balding wannabe rock star. Okay. That was not Arnold Schwarzenegger at all. But okay, and then there's me. I'd kick Arnold Schwarzenegger's ass. What are you talking about? I already have. Yeah. Easy peasy. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. Oh my. He's one of them nanny fuckers. Watch out for the nanny fuckers. Okay, no, I'd never do that to my wife. You know, what happened to my wife and her poor daughter was not Amy's fault. And I think that's why Natty feels so protective of her mother and feels so empowered. You know, when you're raised by the Messiah to protect your mother from NASA and the Georgia satellites and the CIA and the National Security Agency and the FBI and the poo pie and the bim bim and the KGB and the boopali, the bololo, and you know, and I know Ka McGraw. Really? Ka McGraw. It's an interesting name. McGraw. Quick Draw McGraw. I know Quick Draw McGraw. I don't know Ka McGraw. Ka. Okay. Is he part Indian? His name means snake in India. Ka McGraw. Right? It was Ka McGraw. I know Quick Draw McGraw. But I don't know Ka McGraw. So we have a snake who's related to a Quick Draw who's McGraw. Right? Quick Draw McGraw. It's funny! I just made that up. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to make these more entertaining and interesting. These are the Gospels. I take my video feeds more seriously than Diary of CEO, Elon Musk announcing his trillionairism. I take them more seriously than Neil deGrasse Tyson interviewing a Nobel Prize winner. I take them more seriously. Well, because living the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer is absolute perfection for human beings to honor the eternal preciousness of life through holy covenants, through the gift of life, through the omnipotent, omnipotent truth of God. Thank you very much. And if you don't understand what the word means, stop quirking. Stop quirking. Is there anything smaller than their quirk? Your self-esteem, right? Guys, my self-esteem, I have really good self-esteem. I always have my whole life. What happens, because I can get beat down and abused, and I have a bigger dick than you, and I fucked your wife better than you, and I have more awards than you, I got a bigger bank account than you, I'd have beat you in sports. You'd never beat me in sports, no. If I had nosed it, if I worked hard at it and I put my mind to it, I didn't really have to work as hard at it, which made everybody else mad. I just had to exercise really well, rest really well, focus on what I was doing, and then have fun doing it. And then the coaches got mad because it wasn't them that did it, it was me. And then I ended up on the bench all the time because every time something went wrong, like Steve Kerr with Steph Curry, No. Yes, no. And he got to where he's so good at it that there's no. Okay, sit down on the bench. Caitlin Clark, sit down. Sit down. I'm the swim coach at Jeff High School in the 1950s. Sit down, you damn Yankee. Right, okay, sit down. Right, okay. Bitch, gonna be burning crosses on my lawn. But you guys, just forgive, debt, and trespass. Love one, eternal, faithful, peace. Have fun. Okay. If someone's being selfish, why are you being selfish? I want to make lots of money to go to Disney World. Yeah. Okay. How much money does it cost you? $1,500. Wow. 1,500 make-believe piles of shit for piles of shit to believe the piles of shit are legit. Right. Okay, do you hear what I just said? Right. Do you think that's going to turn into a Lil Wayne song and then Nicki Minaj will sample it? And then I'll get even richer, and then Nicki Minaj might consider having sex with me so I can get sexual healing? Well, she's cute. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. She's really cute. Oh gosh, no. She wouldn't enjoy sex with me at all. No. I'm being obnoxious. I take this very seriously. Okay. Well, life's eternal, grace is infinite. I'm the line of King David, and I'm the man that saves us from anaconda contest and sexual abuse of all my fiancés, my wives, and so forth, right? Okay. My first wife, okay, was real uncomfortable. She went with a lot of black guys, did not like the sexuality because it hurt when they had real large penises. She really enjoyed having sex with me at first because I did not have a penis that hurt, right? It fit just like, Goldilocks, right? It's perfect, right? And she talked about that a lot. I was like, okay, it's perfect. It's just the right size. It doesn't hurt. It hits the spot. He keeps going, right? So we were heading towards where she would go, and that's when the yeast infection kicked in. And I thought I did it when I put chocolate pudding on the downstairs and was really just, I was trying to add in more strawberries, chocolate pudding, stuff like that to help make it more enjoyable and fun, like I really wanted her to, and I thought, shit, I think I did it. I think I was the cause of the yeast infection, right? So I felt horrible about it. I thought, well, I'm never doing that again, right? And that could have been the case. It could have not been. It's real easy to, you could have been in the water. We were in Cumberland County, North Carolina, and there were a lot of jealous people in the Pentagon that were jealous about my sexual reputation, my capacity to be able to turn on a 100+ mile an hour serve and hit it with my forehand instead of my backhand. There's not a lot of people that can do that. Not a lot of people in the history of the world that can do that. Okay, when John McEnroe is serving it to your backhand and you can anticipate it, jump out in front of it, and return it with your forehand. Okay. For me, it wasn't really that hard. It was just like I just had to anticipate. Okay, he's going that way, like goalies. Goalie! Metava. Never mind. Okay, so Amy gets it. So I'm sitting there, right? So, well said. Listen, friend. Oh, listen, friend. No, and then so if I anticipated right, I didn't get it every time. Sometimes I did the Mets in the pennant. Okay, but it was my anticipation skills. I don't know if Brian could have got out on it and got it with his forehand. Brian was extreme, Ooch and me, as far as physical gifts and being able to run fast and jump high. He was 5'7" and I was 5'11", but we were really close. We could do about the same. We went out and played basketball together, because when Brian did that and sprained his ankle, and then when I went and snatched Sergeant Gibbs' ball, and he pushed me into, and me and Brian we were just loose cannon jocks that had fun and joked around, and for some strange reason, guys that weren't uptight and didn't take themselves just loved playing tennis, basketball, soccer, bowling, whatever. Anything me and Ooch went to do together, everybody else was like, it's Parsons and Hall. Parsons and Hall, our table, okay, at the chow hall. Remember the Geechee lady? Oh my gosh, she was so fine. Yeah, she was pretty. She was a little bit north on the melanin, south on the melanin. South. She's a little bit darker than a red ball, okay? Shiny black hair, that she could press and get to do the long rather easily. So she had there's some cream in the coffee, right? And she had full lips and a nice little pleasing little figure and stuff. But she's real hard to understand because she's very, very Geechee, okay? And Robert Gause, who was from that area, we got to get Sergeant Gause to teach us Geechee, right? Because she flirted with me and Brian hard all the time. Well, we were very charming, okay? And we were cute, right? And everybody knew he's engaged to a girl like Dorothy Dandridge, but she cheats on him. But he don't cheat on her, right? And all the girls were like, well, we're just going to have to change that. Like the Panamanian woman that came in when I was cleaning the bathroom, and she came in and looked, she was cute, yeah. She was she was coming in and she did the thing in front of the bathroom. Well, can I help you? And she kept looking back in, and I'm like, trying to put it back in the pants, but it's hard because you keep looking and it keeps saying, let her help, let her help, let her help. She's cute, let her help. And she was smiling at me, and I'm like, if I let you help me put it back in my pants, I have a feeling it's not going to get back in my pants for a while. Yeah. I once got busy in the flight line kitchen bathroom at Pope Air Force Base. That's what would have happened. And I was like, no, it's okay, thanks, but it's really sweet of you. G-force, right? It was really hard. That happened to me a lot. I told you, when I went to the club and after I stood up for all the quote unquote, what do you call them again? What did Mont and Kenny call the beautiful ladies at chicken heads and booger wolves? Chicken heads and booger wolves. A chicken head is a girl with curly nappy hair on the back of her neck, and a booger wolf is a girl with big soup coolers. You know, real full lips. They're fun to kiss, and oh my gosh, let's fall in love. Why don't we fall in love? You know, it's now we know we're made for it. Yeah, so it was. Yeah, so I was like looking around, going, no, there are a lot of really, really attractive women here. You're talking about somebody you know about, right? And so, but no, and then I would walk across the dance floor just to go to the bathroom, okay? And girls would be dancing with their jerky boyfriends, and next thing you know, there's this big old butt rubbing against my midsection, and I'm like, I gotta pee here. How am I gonna pee if I have an erection when I'm trying to pee? What is wrong with you women in North Carolina? It was funny. And that's when I called La, please don't make me go. Your mom's crazy. I don't want to go shake it up at the club. I don't want to go to the club. Don't make me go to the club. I'm tired of going to the club. It's really hard. It's really hard. When I go to the club, you know, I don't want to go to the club. So I didn't go on the get together and dance nights, right? I went together on the adult nights. So I went to the club at jazz night. Because country night? No, country night's like, no, country nights is just all the white girls go. What's wrong with us white girls? God, I got a badonkadonk. Okay, girl, and then that happened to me too with Leslie Neese, and I haven't had a hot dog in my hamburger bun, you know, my hot dog bun for a while. I was like, yeah, me either. My girlfriend didn't give me any sex, which probably everybody already knows, but okay. I know the neighborhood, heard it through the grapevine, and she was a sweetheart. She was just. Is like, you know, the guy with the $260 million lawsuit against old, what's his name again? Tyler Perry. You know, you're going to shoot your shot. When somebody is engaged to someone else, regardless of what all the talk is, okay, you don't shoot your shot. Okay. Hi, Denise. I'm single. I just broke up with Yolanda. Earl, these guys are jerks. Do you want to go out on a date? Think about getting physical like Olivia Newton-John? Well, yes, Denise, you have I adore your freckles, and you have very nice lips. You're a little moody, but I may be able to help you with that because I'm not quite as uptight as you, and I don't want to shove a lump of coal in your ass and get a diamond, okay? So we could go out, but only if you believe in miracles, so would I, okay? But no, Denise Pinder, I liked Denise Pinder a lot. She had been taken advantage and abused by guys a lot, like when Newsom and Bradley. Okay, that's like, why is she so shitty to all the guys around here? What's wrong with Denise? I like Denise. I try to be her friend. I try to be nice to her. She just won't let you. She's mean as hell, right? And Judy set me down one night and she told me, she goes, Earl. I go, what? She goes, Bradley and Newsom, yeah, the ones that call me the king, that I'm having sex with solely and Montalvo at the same time, and I got it on the down and all those stories he tells about Randy Andrews being the dog. No, he's just doing that to distract you, make it look like us all niggas is dogs, but he's the king of dogs, is what Newsom and Bradley said. They told everybody this, right? That's when I got mad at Montalvo. I said, you buy into this shit? She goes, then he thinks thou does protest too much, Ralph. Look, Raphael, if I tell everybody that it's not true, they're going to believe it even more. These people believe what they want to believe, and they don't believe what's real. We know that you're pathetic. Draw a big shrine picture to your Yolanda, Denise, Dorothy Dandridge Gilliard, right? And sit there, law, I loveth thee, and your roommate knows it. He tells everybody knows it, okay? You got the other picture with you and her that you did with and she's leaning back from that beautiful photograph, a Polaroid you have of her with your picture from, and then you draw it and you cut your hair off because it looks like it is now, and you have your new shirt on, and she's leaning back into you, and you're leaning over her, and that's your forever love. We all know that you're pathetic. You're shrine of you sit there, you get up at 5 a.m, eat breakfast, go to the gym, dream about law, lift weights that are 110 pounds because she weighs 110 pounds, so you can walk around being Laura Love Delunda Londa Law. I understand, right? We know how pathetic you are and how hopelessly devoted you are. Making fun of me, Riz, right? So she sits there and goes, and I want him because she fucks around on him. I weigh 125, so he's just going to have to increase his barbells. That's what Martava was thinking, right? And then when we'd go work out, she'd get mad because I would cut and she'd rip. And I was like, you're mad? Okay, I'm a guy. Okay. You rip, I cut. I'm a ripping, you're a cutting, right? She'd rip, man. I'd cut. You could see every little muscle. Lean, right? Miriam would lift weights. She'd get swollen. I look like a guy when I lift weights. No, you don't. You look like a woman who you don't want to fuck with. That's what I used to tell her. Dueling. She's so funny. But yeah. So where were we? I'm sorry, I'm confused. We're connecting to people and we're solving problems and we're fixing the Pentagon's sexploitation. Maybe it's a lunatic girl from El Paso. I don't know. Well, because last night when I said that about her, I was getting connections to people that are connected to her as business partners, and I couldn't stop crying. I'm like, and I didn't cry, but I wanted to. I'm like, why am I wanting to cry? Why am I feeling completely hopeless and like it's never going to end? It's never going to change. And I just want to cry and just lay down and it's never going to. And I'm like, that's not true. Okay? Life's eternal and grace is infinite, right? Truth can exist without lie, but lie can't exist without truth. Do you have faith in God? Well, then quit fucking doing that. Verschnigana, right? How do you ever expect to live in the Garden of Eden there if you don't believe the Garden of Eden already exists? Right? What do you think? You're trying to sell me a Coke if I'd like to, and you got like a Scottish, Swedish, it wasn't, I don't know. Is it Scottish or Swedish? I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, right? Perfect harmony. With love, it's like we already have turtle doves. We have all these things you would like to furnish and the world with turtle doves, and we already have those. They're in rich people's Christmas carols during, like the Baroque period hits England. They're always behind the times. Yeah, it's like kind of going to Cedar City, Utah, and Montana, or roller skating in Sheridan, right? That's Heart. That's from 1984, right? That's all that's on the jukebox, right? Amy, she goes, we went to the roller skating rink. It's really neat, right? Yeah. But there's nothing. Everything, it's like you got... What happened? I landed in a skating rink. They have a time portal there. Look, it's Goldmember. Look, it's Foxy Cleopatra. And Austin Powers. It's Soul Bossa Nova, right? And so... Which reminds me, I got to put that on my MP3. But, yeah... Very interesting. And Artie Johnson made me laugh too. But, guys, where are we again? I don't know. I'm confused. But, I've been thinking, you've been on my mind, and I've been trying to find a way that I can get you to see what you've been showing me. Don't you want that for me? Why, yes. Pecan people, I want your minds to be liberated. Okay. In this world, there is so much controversies. You can't say controversy. You have to say controversies. It's patois. It's patois. It's controversies. That's how you'd say it in patois. You don't say controversy. You say, no, that's Prince. He's from Minneapolis. He don't speak patois. Am I black or white? Am I straight? Boo-doo. Controversy. Some people want to die so they can be free. It's all just a game. It's all just the same. That's not true. Okay, life's eternal and grace is infinite. It's not all the same. Okay, because life's eternal and grace is infinite, right? If it was all the same, it would be a computer program and we'd all be being fucked by Sam Harris's bank account and we'd all get cancer from Chris Hitchens' ego not being able to solve all the problems with his ego. Right? So stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, right? So, now if we can just get Richard Dawkins on board, if I can convert Richard Dawkins from atheism to understanding the meaning of Godism, that would be a big coup. And the World Cup of love. Carol, you're funny. I know. Yeah, I watched the Belgian thing. And at first I didn't think it was a foul. I thought the little kiddo from Senegal got there first. Right? It looked like it with the naked eye. Okay. Then they went back and looked at it from a different angle from the camera thing. And you looked at where the ball was when the feet made contact. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was a penalty. If it had been, years before the technology, we would have had a different outcome of that game. Mr. Martinez would have said, I couldn't see it, I couldn't tell. I don't want to end the game on that kind of a penalty, so let's let it go into penalty kicks. But with the advancement of technology and being able to see that, yes, it was a foul, then we had an outcome that was more serendipity-ish, doo-dah-ish to all the people of Belgium instead of the people of Senegal, right? And so you're like, oh, okay. So what you have to ask yourself is, if we didn't have video instant play referee, would the guy from the Senegal ever have committed the foul? Oh, my noodle is bacon. I know. And Dad makes the best bacon. And when you buy a building, what do? Nothing. Except bring in the rent. Ain't nothing going on here but the rent, right? Well, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. Then who really cares who wins the game? Because it's just for exercise. We all go home. We're all loving. There's no human sacrifices. Tulio, we're in Cheldorado. To Shabalba, I love you, I love you, I love you. Now, do you love me? This man, he love you. Why for you not love him back? What is it again? Quadre come dondolo donlolo. Okay, that's Joe Pesci's. No, is Joe Pesci Italian? He pretends to be Italian. Is he Italian? Is Pesci an Italian name? Have you ever heard that song? It's by Eduardo Vallini. It's really cute. It's an adorable little song. I have to put it on my MP3 too. Yeah. Yeah, it's really charming. I said, listen to it. You like this? Yeah. Why? I don't know. It seems corny, but cute. Yeah, it's not as. Is it as it's a different charming, like the one guy who sings "Volare," and I wanted the one. I was like, was it Vic Damone or was it Dino Martino who sang, "Volare," oh, and that's the one I wanted. But I wanted it in Italian. But maybe he just sings it half in Italian and half in English. Maybe so. Maybe I'll go back there and put Dino Martino on it. Everybody loves somebody sometimes, right? And Dino Martino with the volare, oh. And everybody likes the Gypsy King version, right? Patrick does. I do. Gypsy King, I like the Gypsy King. Everybody else like Gypsy King? I like Gypsy King. If I was ever hard on them, oh, get over it. I'm hard on everybody that's supposed to, Viento del Rina, La Tela Moracali, right? Everybody. I'm hard on everybody. That's supposed to love the Father and believe in his faith. Get over it, man. If I wasn't hard on you, I would think, well, that guy's probably never going to come around, right? So some people have such difficult ego problems, and they're, I'm going to have more freaking robots than cars in India here in the near future. Yeah. It's like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through that person. But life's eternal and grace is infinite, and he invented his own police force to police us from his ego. Yes. Yeah. Well, David Rockefeller and Philip Rothschild knew what they were dealing with. Me, I don't even get in the building. Well, because if I get in the building in ancient times, what happened? That guy, like Judah Krishnamurti, sweetest guy in the world, okay? If he ended up in the same room with that guy, like Judah missed, 2 men would walk in, 1 man would come out. Is everything okay? Yeah. I know his family's not going to feel like they're going to rest until they poison me to death, and I get that. But I just could not let that man abuse children for another day. How Krishna, is it Vishnu or Shiva, whatever? And that's what happened with Krishna, and was it Vishnu or Shiva? I'm not sure. I don't know my Buddhist mythology that well, but I do know that the Matrix is based on Buddhist stories, and that it says in the East that they will take their messiahs and plug them into computers. And in the West, they were so much sex violent cult they weren't sure. And it's a good thing they weren't. Why? Because I ain't plugged in. All right, guys, I love you.